Well, blessings, blessings. Hello, everyone. So good to be with you. Let's see, Anna and Emma and Eva and Candace and Juanita and Joanne. I know Marlene will likely be joining us. I saw she was here for a second and she'll probably be rejoining here, and I'll be letting some folks in that join a little late, but I'm so happy you're here. We will be talking about uncovering, I titled this talk, peace that passeth all understanding, or peace that passeth understanding, which is like, it's biblical, right? But this is not at all religious talk. I do like that teaching though. And I'll give you a hint: the peace that passeth all understanding cannot be found in your thinking, which was why I labeled the title of the email that I sent out announcing this sit. I called it something like beyond positive thinking. So, if you get frustrated by your own mind and your own thinking, all of you here have done a lot of work on yourself, and sometimes and I'll talk more about this, we can use these practices that are intended to connect us to deeper well-being as a bypass, and as a spiritual bypass, so we're actually not dealing with our stuff, and that creates more pain. So anyway, I'll unpack that a little bit more in the talk. We'll go about 30 minutes for a Dharma talk in the beginning. Hey, Billy. And then we're going to and then we'll sit for the last half of the time that we have together. We go about an hour. I usually stop a few minutes short of the hour. I do ask that please stay the entire time unless you absolutely need to leave, because coming and going inside of the sacred circle, I mean, even on Zoom, it does affect everyone. So along with staying for the entire time, it's also, if you can, just eliminating distractions, letting yourself be really present and one pointed in your attention, so that you can really receive what you're here to receive. And also, again, the rest of the Sangha is strengthened when all of us come together with our hearts and our minds here together, and we're not distracted by emails and checking browsers and things like that, which is so easy to do when we do these Zoom sits. So let's start with how are you? Where are you at? How's your heart this morning? What's your intention? What is it that you're most wanting to feel or receive? And you can, please type that into the chat. Welcome, Steiner. Yeah, what is it that you're here to feel or receive? Hi, Candace. I see your message in the chat. What brings you to this talk about a peace beyond understanding? Open heart, ready to receive that peace. Yes. What we're talking about, an unconditional peace. From Bali, no shirt, so no video. Awesome. Wow. Yeah. Welcome, Steiner. So glad you could join us from Bali. Yeah, I'd love to know why you're here. Need calmness and insight. You're in the right place, Joanne. Welcome. Good. Clarity. Yes, Eva. Good. I think that our dialogue around the thinking mind today is going to help us get some clarity. So yes, you're in the right place, Eva. So glad you're here. Let's dive in, shall we? I always talk about three pieces or 3 points that are important to the talk. And so, the big picture theme today is uncovering. Notice I don't say find. Uncovering the peace that is passeth all understanding. In other words, unconditional peace. This was what the Buddha was all about. The Buddha realized that, like, oh my gosh, denying myself of everything doesn't work. Like he took that route at a point in his journey to awakening, became an ascetic, starved his body, engaged in a lot of practices so that he could transcend the physical body. And he did reach some beautiful states, blissful states. But what he realized was that there wasn't true freedom in that because it couldn't last. And I mean, you can relate to this too, right? If you've ever eaten really clean and you feel super amazing, or maybe you've been fasting and you feel super amazing, but you can't do that. There comes a point at which you have to eat. Someday you have to eat. You have to. And so, in other words, like that wasn't true freedom because it wasn't unconditional. And then he also, he grew up in affluence. So he had everything that anyone could ever want. And that was fundamentally unsatisfying as well. Because no matter how much stuff you have, how much influence you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much stuff you have, you will lose it all. That is certain, right? Because we're all going to die. And so that too was not the path to unconditional peace. Like whenever we are hitching our sense of okayness to things being other than how they are, it's like a rub, it's like an agitation, right? That we carry around with us. We're like chronically sort of like under the skin, aggravated, agitated, sort of like feeling like, something's missing. I don't quite know what it is, but something's missing. And you're right, we're right, something is missing, but it's not our usual understanding of what's missing. Actually, what's missing is the truth that nothing is missing and the realization of that we can have through practice. So, Rumi said that which is seeking is causing you to seek. There's nothing to find. And at the same time, there's everything to find. And so this finding, this knowing, this connection to the unconditional peace that is our birthright, that it's like, man, shit can happen outside of me. And I might get upset or ruffled. It's not like I will continue to be rubbed by life. But I have a sense of deep security in my enoughness that allows me to just weather the storms of life. It also allows me to fully enjoy life when I'm not clinging to things being a particular way. And the way that we cling to things being a particular way is through thinking. And this is not a small thing. This is not a small thing at all. We are very, very, very loyal to our thoughts. No matter how long we've been practicing, this loyalty is so deep and so sticky that it's really impossible, no matter how long you've been practicing, to like be unaffected by your thoughts. But what we do cultivate through practice is the awareness of this. The more aware we are of the mind and how it functions, and the less we try to establish a sense of like enoughness, security, safety, through thinking our life through and noticing, like, you never do that, how the mind is like, I can't be okay right now until everything in my life is okay. When I finally get there, okay, then I can rest, right? It's like, this is our primary problem, that what we seek is right under our nose, but we bypass it on our search for something else. We bypass it on our ways of trying to manipulate and control life through thinking, through planning, through organizing, through fixing, through changing. All of that happens cerebrally, conceptually. We try to borrow safety and security from a past that doesn't exist and from a future that hasn't arrived. And no wonder we feel like chronically like this void in the soul, because that method of trying to find peace just does not work. And it will actually widen the gap. It will actually increase our edginess and our anxiety. First point I wanted to talk about this. Oh, by the way, too, this is beyond positive thinking. Thoughts are not truths. Thoughts are tools, right? They're not, until we really start to practice and get to know our own minds, which is why meditation is so valuable amongst other reasons. But if you don't know your own mind, you're entrapped by it. We are believing the thoughts that we think, the thoughts that are just coming up, without us creating, they just emerge out of nowhere. Most of them are negative because of the negativity bias. If we don't stop to question them or look at them or name them, which I'm going to talk about in a moment as a way to work with our minds, then we are believing that they are true. Thoughts are not truths. Thoughts are tools. We can use the mind as a tool. And when I say mind, I mean thinking mind, not big mind, but just the thinking mind, the egoic mind. We can use that as a tool to help us, but they're never truths. And whenever we try to make a thought truth, it doesn't matter if it's the thought, I'm a piece of shit, or I am unconditionally lovable. They're both, if I'm trying to believe those thoughts, or, the belief that, I'm no good is often, that might be the believed thought. But you try to make yourself believe a positive thought doesn't work so well if you haven't allowed yourself to acknowledge what was underneath the desire to transform the thought. So again, thoughts are not truths, they're tools. We can consciously use thoughts like I am unconditionally lovable as a reminder to a part of ourselves who lost belief in that a long time ago. But if I'm not acknowledging the broken down belief, I'm just putting Cool Whip on poo. It doesn't work. We know this actually too through research. Affirmations without acknowledgement of the breakdown can cause more harm than good, because now we feel like there's something really wrong with us because, we're telling ourselves, I am powerful, but we don't feel powerful. And that disconnect makes our confidence in ourselves go down, just because our insides aren't aligned with the outsides. So number one, acceptance is so important in uncovering the peace that is beyond thought. There is a peace that is beyond thought. It comes before thought, and it can never be taken from you. You don't need to find it, but it can be uncovered when we take the opportunity to sit and be with what's true in ourselves without judgment. Number one, we have to accept the stickiness of our thoughts and the triad of our experience. Let me speak about that. We can say that in any given moment we're having, we think two different kinds of ways. Check this out. One way is auditory. So that narrative that's always going on in your head, like that voice in your mind that's like always giving you the play-by-play. How are they measuring up? How are you measuring up? I had brunch with my aunt this weekend. We do this once a year, and it's so lovely, and it's this lovely place. And I go with my sister, and inevitably, you might relate to this, I notice my mind comparing, how am I measuring up? How am I measuring up to my sister? Right? I mean, that's just transparent and honest. I don't know of a sibling, people, the mind just does that, right? It just does that. Like, how am I measuring up to the other people who are here? It's so crazy if you really take a moment to look. And if I'm not aware of that, the way my mind is comparing through that auditory narrative, you can actually hear it. Like right now, say hello, just in your own mind. Hello. Isn't that crazy? You can actually hear it. You can hear it between the ears. That's an auditory thought that you created. Now, you have those thoughts all the time that you don't create. They're just coming up out of the ethers. And they're tied a lot to old conclusions that we made a long time ago that we don't want to be living by anymore. Or ways our parents thought or ways their parents thought. We sort of inherit that to some degree, actually a lot of that happens for us. And if we're not aware of that, like auditory voice in the mind, then we're probably just listening to it, not even aware that it's a voice in the mind that we can actually like take a step back from and just like notice, oh, I'm comparing. Wow. So the other one is visual. So we have visual thoughts, images, impressions, right? They're happening all the time and we are so close to them. We cannot undermine their influence. It's a powerful force, and so we don't want to be like in denial about it happening, but we also want to be watchful so that we don't get taken over by it. The other aspect of experience is emotion. So we have emotion, we have auditory thoughts, we have visual thoughts. And emotion, I'm using that as a big category to underneath it. Sensations of the body, feelings, moods, all of that falls under emotions. They're all intimately tied together. So we have to understand that like there's no need to like guard the heart or the mind against any of this. Rather than that, we just want to like be watchful and aware, but let it all happen without trying to curate the inner experience. We can have a discouraging thought, for example. I had a discouraging thought today with something that came up with work, right? I was looking at my email and I had like, I didn't see something that I'd wanted to see. And so I got this like discouraging thought. And if I don't notice that, it's really easy to sort of get caught up in it, especially if it's sticky. And thoughts like that can be really sticky, right? Some thoughts are super sticky, some not so much. What's for lunch might not hold the same charge as, oh my gosh, I have to give that presentation today at 5:00. Right? So that's what I mean by stickiness charge. So that's the first piece, just accepting and allowing. You don't have to like it, and you might love it. We love fantasy. Do you ever have a really amazing dream that's all cerebral? It's thinking, and you wake up and you're like, oh, you don't want it to go away. You wish it didn't go away, but it does. So, it's like this allowing without being in opposition to it. Rilke says it's so beautiful. He said, just let everything happen to you. Just let everything happen to you. Good. Like I don't have to keep guarding my heart and my mind all the time about, around what I don't like or what I do like. It's going to come up regardless. Let me just be aware without trying to fix or change. Number one. Number two, deconstruct. So I gave you a little example of the deconstruction, just simply naming it. Really simple deconstructive tool that we can use with our own minds. There's a world of difference between having the thought, this isn't going to work out, and this isn't going to work out. Speaking of discouragement, right? Let me say that again. There's a world of thought, the difference between having the thought, this isn't going to work out, and this isn't going to work out. Okay, in the first example, I took a step back. I named it. Oh, I'm having a thought that, whatever the thought is, right? Whatever that thought is. And we can do that through meditation practice. When we notice the thoughts arising, oftentimes the instruction is to name. Having a thought about breakfast, right? What am I going to have for breakfast? Having a thought, oh gosh, I have a long day today. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. You ever have those thoughts? They're just thoughts. Imagine how much freedom is available when you stop believing all the BS narratives that are going through your body, mind all the time. Right? It's like the mind, thoughts we think, again, they're not truths, they're tools if we're conscious thinkers. But those thoughts that just arise out of the ethers, most of them aren't true, and they certainly shouldn't be trusted, and they certainly shouldn't be driving the car of your life, right? You should be driving the car of your life, right? And that's this uncovering. We can't uncover the piece if we don't name what's sort of like on top of it, which are all of the stories and thoughts and emotions that are tied to that too. You ever have like a scary thought and the mind goes there so fast? I have little kids, and it's like my son will go to the store like a block away. He's, little, he's not that, he's old enough to do that, but my mind's thought up some really terrible things between him going there and coming home, right? It's just the mind, that's just the thinking mind. If I'm not aware of that, my heart starts to race. I start to get fearful. I'm like, I'm getting myself all in a panic about nothing because he's safe, he's fine, he's on his way home. So I can name that thought. Wow, I just had a horrible thought, in my head about my son just now. Just naming it as it's arising helps to give you some distance and some space. That's just that's a summary of deconstruction, just naming thoughts. We're going to do that a little bit in our practice today. And then the last point I wanted to mention here, which is really important, this is sort of the transformation. When we unhook from thoughts, we can take refuge in the space before thought arises. Something that we probably don't ask ourselves much until we start to practice is like, who's watching? Who's aware? That's a better question than like, what's wrong with me or what's wrong with them, or, focusing so much on externals. It's like, who's the one making that voice say hello in my head? Do it again, say hello. Who did that? There's like this part of our experience that is the consciousness. It's so big, no one can really decide on what it even is. Where is it? It's still a mystery, scientifically speaking. But yet, imbued, like woven into the core fabric of our being, is a piece that's available when we stop trying to control everything through our thinking process. Rather than letting thoughts lead the way, we lead the way. This awareness that is before thought leads the way. So, and the moment you start thinking about it, it's like, it's a thought. It's one step removed. Hi. It's one step removed. But but that space, the space behind the thoughts, before thoughts, what we want to start to do is sense that as refuge. Like when we meditate together in a moment, meditation is deep rest. It's deep. It's like, oh my gosh, for this period of time, I don't have to be loyal to my worry. I don't have to be loyal to my comparing. I don't have to be loyal to any of those things that I often think I just have to do. There's this hummingbird like flying right outside the window here. Wish you could see it. I don't have to be loyal to my suffering. I actually can rest. I can rest. We don't often think about that loyalty that we have to our worry, to our doubt, to our comparing minds, all that. We're just waiting for it all to go away. It's not going away. It's waiting for you to take your seat. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to come home to yourself. You don't have to, like, this is the place where we get to stop the search. What a relief. You've arrived. Any given moment, there's a million things right and a million things wrong. Who said it should be otherwise? How much time have we wasted kind of caught in what's wrong? A lot. And there's a natural like sadness that comes up when we grok that, because it's like, oh my gosh, life is so, it's so fleeting and short and beautiful and amazing and hard and all of it. And we need not spend one more moment caught in the trance of unworthiness. The only person who can decide to point the attention that is our most precious resource towards something wholesome, like the breath, like awareness itself. And this is a pivot we do many times, throughout our practice of meditation, but also throughout the day. It's like we have two choices. We can either be swimming in the trance of unworthiness, something's missing, something's like has to be fixed, blah, 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 and just kind of be all up in that business. Or we can like just go a different direction. What would ease feel like right now? Like just try that on for a second. We're usually waiting for life to give us the right conditions to relax. What if it doesn't work like that? What if it's like safe to take your hands off the controls and just be? Nothing to guard, nothing to protect. Let's practice together. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open with a soft gaze. We want to eliminate fidgeting as best as we can in practice. It's really helpful to, just still the body and sense the strength of your back. And at the same time, just sensing the softness of the front. I'm going to take about 10 belly breaths now. On your exhale, just start to draw your belly button back and in towards your spine. And sense that you can like empty the stale air out. Inhale is effortless and full. Exhale, navel back and in towards the spine. Let your mind or let your awareness just settle in your soft belly. 8 more of these. Be so in your body, it's like you don't have a head. Keep sinking the awareness down, draw the navel back and in, starting to sense that the belly itself has nostrils to breathe. One more like this, deep breath in. Exhale completely. Draw the navel back and in. Squeeze the still air out. Hold the breath. The end of the exhale. Hold it out. And then just let yourself breathe naturally. It's a way to soothe and settle. We begin our more formal practice by just letting the breath take center stage, the breath as it's breathed in the belly. We don't have to eliminate at all other types of experience. We just allow breathing to be in the foreground. It's like we're sitting in a movie theater. Whatever's on that screen is what becomes our truth, our experience. We're barely aware of the people in the audience. So let your breath be on the screen. Let the auditory and visual impressions of the mind be in the audience. You don't have to control or manage anything right now. You don't even have to be present. That's just a thought. And the sensations in your body. Some of them are pleasant, and some of them are neutral, and some of them are unpleasant. You don't have to manage any of it. You don't have to get involved at all, except for to bring a heart of like friendliness. I haven't mentioned the heart of friendliness yet. We can wake it up by simply asking, yeah, what would more friendliness feel like right now? In this moment, what would being a friend to myself feel like? An unconditional friend. The heart may be open, it might be tight. It might be joyful, it might be restless. It's not a problem to be solved. You're not doing anything wrong or right. Lean back. Simply noticing is enough. If inner tensions arise, you can re-relax. Beginning now to also just include those audio or visual impressions that we call thoughts. Rather than fixing or changing or avoiding or getting caught, we can just allow that too to fold back in to the center, to the breathing belly. Just letting everything fold back into the center. Being so in your body, it's like you don't have a head. See if you can notice the next thought that will arise. You can just experiment with like naming it. Oh, having a thought about making sure all of my clients get scheduled these next 2 weeks before I go on meditation retreat. That's just a live example I'm giving from my own mind. Just name it, like touching a bubble, and come back to the breath after you've named what you've noticed. You won't be able to likely catch all the thoughts. That's totally fine. Who said you have to catch all the thoughts? Take the pressure off yourself. Even just one is enough. Now, leaning back even more and just what's aware? What's aware of my voice? What's aware of the sensations moving through your body? What's aware of images, impressions, sounds? Become aware of your own awareness. Rest. You are always resting inside of that awareness. If you notice you start trying to get it right, just relax. And now we can just bring a hand to our hearts. No matter, like, you might think this is kind of silly. Just do it anyway. And just notice. You can even like play with pressure, like pressing down a little bit and then lightening up on the pressure. Maybe it feels good to like move the hand on the heart. Maybe it just feels good to keep it steady. I like to use my forearm against my sternum and apply pressure there as well, so my central channel feels supported. If you experience sometimes like tension in the throat, you can sort of stroke the throat. Not as a way to like get rid of what's here, just as a way to support what's here. But through all of your experience, there can be this generosity, this kindness. In these last few minutes of our sit, we'll practice chanting, invoking the blessings of metta. All of the experience gets to be held inside of the chant. No need to put pressure on yourself to feel a certain way as you sing. We'll start with I, we'll move to you, and then to we. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be free. May I feel safe and free from harm. May I be free. May I have peace. May I have joy. May I be free. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be free. May I feel safe and free from harm. May I be free. May I have peace. May I have joy. May I be free. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be free. May I feel safe and free from harm. May I be free. May I have peace. May I have joy. May I be free. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be free. May you feel safe and free from harm. May you be free. May you have peace. May you have joy. May you be free. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be free. May you feel safe and free from harm. May you be free. May you have peace. May you have joy. May you be free. May we be happy. May we be at ease. May we be free. May we feel safe and free from harm. May we be free. May we have peace. May we have joy. May we be free. May we be happy. May we be at ease. May we be free. May we feel safe and free from harm. May we be free. May we have peace. May we have joy. May we be free. May we be happy. May we be at ease. May we be free. May we feel safe and free from harm. May we be free. May we have peace. May we have joy. May we be free. And just noticing what's true now. If you join me in singing, you might also notice, yeah, what was that like? I always notice an amplification of like tingles, energy, vibrance, yeah? Good. So we're going to come to a landing place in our time together. Please do. I love it when you chat. What is your takeaway from our sit today, Birgit? Those of you who joined late, this is going to be recorded. So check out on Thursday when the replay is released. Yeah, I'm glad you could come for the last little bit. Yeah, what are you taking away from this exploration of the peace that passeth all understanding, right? We think about thinking, conceptualization, we think about understanding. We talked about the peace underneath that, the peace of awareness itself. And hopefully you tasted a little bit of that in our sit. You're welcome, Birgit. Yeah, what are you leaving with? I don't have to be loyal to my suffering. That's so true. You can rest. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Yeah, good. Some of you are just joining. You're in a different time zone, probably. I'm so glad you're here. Next week, you'll know it'll be 10 a.m. or whatever time it is your time. We actually started an hour ago, but this is on the record, so the replay will be sent out and available on Thursday. That was beautiful. Oh, good. You're welcome, Eva. I'm so glad you could join us. Feel like a headless body. Joanne, that's good. You can trust that. The mind is so used to having control. It'll be like, what are you doing? You have to be thinking about this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing and put it all together. And yeah, no, just do it, as Nike said. It says, best tagline ever written, just do it. Right? Engage, action. It's not about understanding first and then moving. It's about like being all the way in the body and moving from that awareness that's imbued with a wisdom that's really trustworthy. It's not about understanding. Clearing to experience peace. Beautiful. Good, Candace. Yes. All right, loves. I'm going to see you next week, 9 a.m. PT. Please do email me. Let me know if you have any topics you want me to explore. I'm really open to that. Also, please invite someone, invite a friend. Let's get our Sangha growing. Yeah. And that happens by you just inviting folks, people who would benefit, right? Like people who you're like, oh my gosh, this would make such a big difference for you. I think, why don't you just give it a try? You just give them the Zoom link. Everyone is welcome to come. And I do appreciate your donations. These talks are freely offered, but your donations really make a difference. So if you cannot afford to donate, you still get to come for sure. But if you can donate, that really does make a difference. So you can PayPal me, you can Zelle me. My Venmo is at Karina-Nickerson. That's my Venmo, okay? So really appreciate your donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending you love and blessings. I look forward to seeing you next week. And go ahead and take yourself off mute. Oh, I see Anna's face. Hi. With that beautiful hair that you have. It's just really
Bye, Karina.
Bye, Candace.
Love everyone.
Yeah, good. Love you, Candace.
Everyone love. I love being here. It was very peaceful, and I just let the thoughts be there. It was nice just to let things be.
What a relief, right? Take that with you today, Candace, and everyone.
Yeah.
All right, loves.
Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Marlene.
Bye.
Bye, Anna. Bye, Billy.
Bye.
Let's see. Bye, Birgit.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Marlene. Bye, Juanita and Sandar and yeah. Tina. All right, loves. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.